many of us have mentioned, we travel and we see other countries and how they're spreading the music to a younger generation. That's where we have to focus in this conversation and make plans to do that. And not just talk about it, but actually be about it. Because the music dies with us. All right. But those two gentlemen coming up, young teenagers, they're amazing. But along with them, we also have to bring women in. All right. That's always the elephant in the room that no one talks about female DJs. There are a lot of great female DJs that rock in a different way that makes you say, "Oh shit, I like that." All right, so you've got to do that too. So it's young and it's female DJs. All right, and we have to be serious about that. I'm getting old. I'm tired, and like I want to die and see some of that start. All right, so because we talk about this a lot, and many of us have gone to Winter Music Conference and just go to the parties. Meanwhile, I'm at the conference really and seeing stuff and learning things and learning about new technology, and no one's there except people of other persuasions. We've got to do that here, now, and forward. Be serious about that. So I'm glad you brought that up, and we can continue to see, make a plan of how we're going to do that, how we're going to bring in more younger people. Because they actually, sometimes, if you even go to a hip hop club, they'll play old house, right? And sometimes slow it down, and other guys who are innovative will introduce it to them. There's a track right now that plays all right, la da D's like this, la da dee da da da, and they play it like la da dee da 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 dee, and he's rapping on top of it. So there's got to be some way we can bring young people in, not by doing that, but by showing them the connection between hip hop. Because there was a time when hip hop and house were like brothers and sisters in the same club. All right. So we have to be serious about doing that. So I'm glad we've touched on that.
On that
Thanks.
same note, right here in Newark, Queen Latifah, she was doing her first song,
It
Hip
was a house,
House.
yeah.
Welcome to my house.
Dude, she
Right
did
here, guys.
she
Y'all
did
get
that in
this.
East Orange at
Right.
Vaughn Mason's studio with
Right.
45 King.
Can we revive
Okay.
that? Hip House came out of this great city, guys.
It's
Let's
possible. Yeah.
let's get that going again.
Yeah.
You guys are powerful. And when those again, you guys affected the Baltimore scene. Tommy and Teddy was coming up here listening to Tony Humphrey that directly impacted them at the Zanzibar.
Can I say something? All the best house music from New York comes from New Jersey.
Yeah. Baltimore
That's a fact.
scene.
I'm from the Bronx. I'm from New York. The best house music, the most successful house music that comes from New York
Those camps were
is
here.
actually from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Break for Love was made in New Jersey, East Orange, New Jersey, on Grove Street. The label is called Grove Street. It was on Grove Street in East Orange, in a basement, a nice basement studio. And in the corner, Mark the 45 King was mixing and cutting up his stuff, and I didn't even know what the hell he was doing until that blew up. So, once again, all the best music out of the so-called New York scene actually comes out of New Jersey, and you've got to hold on to that pride. I don't know if it's historical where you feel like a smaller brother to New York, but you don't get your shine. So you've got to start polishing up your credentials here and make it happen. All right.
So let me interject. You guys all gave you guys are wonderful. But let me ask you a question. This leads us to collaboration and cooperation. Like when we want to draw in young people, but when they get there, they're looking at a we be kicking them out. Like I've been to a lot of parties where we're trying to get young people to come in, and the people that are in the party already are saying, no, don't let them in here. We like, what are you crazy? The party is empty. Let these kids in here. They don't have nothing to do. But what are they going to be waiting for when they get here? Like, how are we really actively marketing, putting together a marketing campaign to get them in here? And when they get in here, what are they going to see? So that to the next question of when do you let the new guy in? Because one of the thing is we just be listening to the same four DJs over, over, and over, and over.
The five
And
deadly
it's like
villains.
you're like, when do you let the new guy in? Like, what does the new guy gotta do for you to put him on? And over.
Damn,
We listening
So
yo.
to
let
the
me
same song
let me
over
let me
and over.
I can let me
I mean,
speak to
like, but let me
I'm
get
sorry.
into it. Listen, what does a new person have to do? Because I know a lot string of DJs that are dying to play, right? But what they don't understand is when they get here, they need you as mentorship to let them know it's not just about getting up there and playing. There's a lot more that goes on with putting
Absolutely.
together events, with putting together music, producing music. They really just want to play and just show their creative abilities. But we won't even, we keep doing like this. Now we love Amir and Juz. We've been bigging them up. We've done a good job with surrounding those two boys. But the thing is, they hungry. Them boys is hungry. They want it. And so, who else are you pouring into besides them? Now, everyone has surrounded them. I love them. Those are my nephews, right? But who else are you bringing aboard? Who else are you mentoring? Like, when do you let, even if they're not young or new, just a new guy, period, what's the criteria to put somebody else on?
Well, I think that when you have these outside events, I can't speak for Atlanta, but I can speak for Jersey. That when you have so many that we do in 18 weeks and you see the same rotation, you got to speak to the promoter and the event organizer who does these events. All right. When Ubiquity does an event, it's done from a DJ's perspective. All right. This is why when you come to a Ubiquity event, you won't see oversaturation of vendors. You will see small lineups because I'm trying to have a balanced ticket so that I can introduce someone new, someone that you're familiar with. All right. So there's a balanced ticket. The younger guys that's coming on, I also put them on my ticket as well. But the thing is, it comes down to the event organizer, it comes down to the promoter, and it comes down to what the people want. An event organizer and a promoter, because he takes so many vendors' applications, he has to justify that number, all right, of the finances that he takes for them. This is why they pretty much stick with the same, you know, rotation because for a vendor who comes into these events, they want to be they want an opportunity to sell their product. That promoter has to guarantee a certain amount of people. So this is why the Ubiquity event doesn't go with that criteria. It's about the music, it's about the dancers, it's about family, it's about kids, it's about you can bring your niece, your nephew, your cousins, grandma, grandpa. It's about family first. That's why I try to push that more and not get into the whole typical, event festival, setup. So I think it comes to those first, the event organizers and the promoters. That's how they promote the events.
All right, let me hear
Okay,
from somebody else.
let me jump in for a second. I'm in Atlanta. Like I said, I have an event called Outside Sprig. To give you a little bit of history, it started out as a block party the first year. Then we went and did another block party in the city, and this has always happened around July 4th. By the third year, we went to Grant Park, which is the same park where House in the Park does their events. I met with some what's the word, opposition to do that, and since then, I guess, and I get it. House in the Park's been around for a long time. I have a lot of respect for the guys that does that. I have a lot of respect for the fact that they do it the way they want to do it every year. I understand the camaraderie of doing things and not having to bring something new and mess it up. I get that. My perspective is a little different. I like to bring new DJs in. And the reason why I do it, and the way how I do it is this, and this is going to sound kind of crazy. I work with DJs that is also doing something. Like Blake sitting out front, for example. He has an event that he does over in Rockaway. I would work with him because he could bring people to Atlanta. I could come to New York and bring people with me. So it's kind of like working together. And eventually, I put a new thing in there, like an Amir or someone else you haven't heard. So that's my recipe. You understand what I'm saying? So to bring a new DJ in, he has to bring something with him. He has to be hungry. He has to be able. He don't have to know how to play very well. I could put him first. But if he's hungry, he really want to get out there and do what he needs to do. I'll put them on. I don't have a problem putting people on. By the time people get at me to be part of my event, I've already decided who I want to be part of it. And that's usually a year in advance. So a lot of times they see the event pop up and they're reaching out to me like, yo, Divine, man, can you put me on? How about the booking? And I'm like, well, it's already set. And we'll work towards something else. That's a free event, right? So we're going to have vendors. We're going to have DJs that have to work with, for example, at a community, what we call, what's that term? Basically I have to go to a meeting and deal with people in the neighborhood to yeah neighborhood association board to make sure that we're going to not have a crazy impact. And one of my selling points is it's one of the safest events you could be at, and if we could attest to that, this is one of the safest events that black people could be at, and it's a bunch
The
of us just having
safest
fun.
is the safest. Period.
Okay, I stand corrected. You understand? So I'll pass the mic at this point.
I want us to commit though to trying to introduce young acts. It's not just new DJs. We're talking about young people. I need us to commit today that we're going to start trying to seek out and bring in one new young DJ, female or male, to our events. We can't just talk about what is. We're here to talk about what can be. So I want us to really try to commit to that, to do that.
Young ladies,
They'll
young
submit
men.
them. Yes, they'll submit their mixtapes. You listen to them once in a while, and once or twice throughout the year, you introduce them. Just like I'm a singer and producer. When I go anywhere and around the world, there are always opening acts. So likewise, we can have opening DJs. It's not a difficult thing. All right, it's not science. We can do that. And yeah, you listen to their mixtapes and see if they're good enough, and go check them out or whatever if you have the time. But we have to make that commitment and move forward. All right.
So
That's
I've been
very good
asking
about the
myself,
mixtapes because a lot of the youngsters don't know they need a mixtape. They need a demo tape. Please listen to my demo. You know, you need to prepare and you need to stay hungry. There needs to be high school programs that look for musically inclined young people. So we can grab them and we can take them under our wing. One of the most endearing things I found about the New Jersey scene is that I love the way the grown men, the older men, took Amir and those two young men under their wing. That was beautiful to my heart. So when we make that environment less threatening to the younger folk, they will embrace it. So that's all I wanted to say
And
there.
try some young people parties too. You just have young people parties, day parties for young people. That's how you bring them into it.
another thing I'd like to bring up real quick is I'd like to ultimately see, because a lot of us will sit and say, oh, we do this for the love of the music. But we also would like to make some money. Am I right?
I was just about to touch on that. One of the biggest things that I do back in Atlanta, I myself have taken a step back from DJing as much because of the love for the music. This community, I met my wife in this community over 20 years ago. We've been doing this the whole time. We party, we go out, I play music, and we love this. And it's brought so much to our life that my goal is to keep giving back to this community so that other people can have a little bit of what I've gotten out of it over these years. And so that is a big part of having these young kids out here, is that we have to be mentors to them. How many of us actually want to be mentors to these kids? Why is it that a lot of us here, I know most of us, if not all of you, know who Amir is, know who Just the DJ is. They are very young. Why is it that they stand out above any of these other young DJs? Is it because they're hungry? Or is it because we're willing to mentor them? Or is it a combination of both? Why is it that these other DJs are not getting that? So there has to be a level of respect between these young kids and the mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these young kids don't have that because we live in a different society than what we all came up in. Society today, these kids are, let's face it, they are entitled. And that entitlement takes away a lot of the respect that we grew up with. So we have to learn how to get around that and find ways to work with these kids to bring them out here, because that's why these young kids are not coming out here. They're seeing a room full of older people and they're like, that's not where I want to party. But they like the music. They're just not going to admit that they like the music. So we got to get around that somehow. We got to get around it. And the reality is that it's not just on the kids' part, it's on our part too. We have to be mentors. When it comes down to it, like you were just saying, Angel, we do want to make money, but we got to get the greed out of our heads, because it's all there. We can all eat out of this. We can all make money. We just have to work together. We're a community. We need to work together on this.
Now, I like the idea. I love the kids. Y'all know that, right? But I really am looking out for the folks who have spent the last 20 years doing this. I mean, I really would like to see it's great to mentor, but I'd also like to see, we got the DJ population is saturated right now. It's saturated everywhere. And I just want to know, can we figure out a way for all of us to sit at the table and there's room for everybody to eat? Like, what I'd really like to see.
Wait, let me stop you for a second. I said I was gonna be nice, so I'm gonna be nice.
Be nice.
I'm gonna be nice.
Please.
I'm gonna be
Be
nice.
nice.
I'm gonna put my promoter hat on for a second. All right. As a promoter who gives events, all right, I base the DJs on who's gonna give me the best bang for my buck. All right, because
Talk
in
about it.
the end, this is something no one wants to hear it. This is a business. This is a business.
Let's talk about
All right,
it.
McDonald's is not giving away burgers. You got to pay for it. You want me to book? Give me a DJ. Give me a DJ. You want me to book David Morales? I got to pay him $10,000. So guess what? You're not getting in free. Somebody got to pay these bills. And a lot of people in Jersey are so spoiled. It's pathetic. Young lady said to me the other day, all right, she says to me, Steve, why should I pay $20 to hear him at Mr. East when I can hear him next week over here for free? So, and you know what? That's cool. You don't come. You do what you're gonna do. The place was full, but my point is, a lot of people think that way because they're so used to getting everything for free from all those DJs and promoters who just want to fill the room. Exactly. We created that problem. Exactly. We create, and I tell them, we created it. A few of us have pushed back, and then you look at us like we're greedy promoters. I've been told a lot. That damn Steve greedy as hell. But you know what? Every party I've given since '83 has been full. I had one bad one, and then that was because of a fire. It wasn't my fault. All right, but no, it wasn't my fault. That was
I love that.
that was down the street from Brokers. That wasn't my fault. All right, but my point is, people have got to understand. Promoters, we want to do nice stuff, but it costs money. You think these venues are not cheap? This hotel is not cheap. Bills got to get paid. Everything can't be free. You got free for 18 weeks. You said it was May, and no, it's beyond that.
October.
It goes to October, November.
Wow.
At this point, because people just want to get people in their room.
Steve, can I ask you?
And then you can't pay the DJs because nobody's paying at the damn door.
So what are we gonna do about this? Because this is the family discussion I said we needed to have.
For real.
Right?
Listen,
Like,
I want to
so
jump
tell
in.
y'all something.
I want to jump in.
Let me just tell y'all something. I done seen people spend $75 to go see Black Coffee, right? And they paid it. We had a party right behind it, and these are people that you see all the time that love you, and you don't even want to pay $10 to go in. How can we honestly, is it right for us to chastise our community?
No, that gentleman had it right. I'm from Brooklyn, and when I moved to New Jersey and started scouring around, y'all have too many free parties. So you've created an atmosphere where people expect to get house music for free. Because you have parties in bars and whatever where I guess they get paid by how much plates get sold or drinks get sold, so there's no admission. So everyone comes in, they buy the drinks, maybe, and some food, and get house music for free. If you have a market of 8 years now where you're just doing free events, that much free events, people don't want to spend no money. They've got mortgage. They got kids going. I got my daughter going to school later this year. So son next year. I mean, you're thinking about all that. So that's an honest question to ask. Did you create a monster? Yes, you did. Now, how do you fix it?
Keith, if I may. Hi, everybody. I'm Ross Anthony, Master of Ceremonies. How y'all doing? All right. If I may, as one of the house correspondents of New Jersey house music, what we do for that reason is we'll have a party, like on a Friday. It'll be a free party. but we expect our people to look at our goodwill and good service when we do have a paying party that you come and support that part. So we'll give you like look,
But it's
look,
not working
we
though.
got hands, right? What do these hands do? All right. One hand wash the other, both hands wash the face.
Yeah.
All right. If we got to say it in plain English, like you see it, like, listen, we're having a party on Friday at Mr. East. Come in there, everybody free. But if Steve does a party, he packs the house because they remember that. If that transcends all across the globe, then
No,
we get somewhere. Now, Keith,
it's not
you
happening.
as an artist, now you as an artist, you have to get paid. I have to get paid to MC. He has to get paid to DJ. You got to get paid. You got to pay your staff. We all got to pay our staff. We do have financials to take care of. Take this all into consideration. Without you, there is no us. And that's the thing, Keith. You see, it doesn't work. It is working. Yes, Roselle is one of the biggest. Sorry, everybody. Roselle is one of the biggest festivals around. All right. We get the money from the vendors. We get the money to pay the police, to pay the ambulance, to pay the fire department. Those are funds that are already stacked in a year prior. That all goes with the constituency of the city and the borough, whoever it is. They are willing to say, you know what, we'll take our funds that we made from last year, put them in a safe deposit box, and then spend them to cover our overhead for this year. So that's how that happens if anybody doesn't know. Everything costs. Money, 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 money,
Of course.
money.
Yep.
But we lose the fun factor of it, housing. That's my answer, my response. I hope it was a good one,
I know
guys.
it is. It is. It is. But we still have the question of why people don't come to some of the parties because I've seen it not working overall for the culture because it is business, but it's also culture. That's why we're here. It's also culture that we have to keep going for the young generation. I want to get back to that, getting them in, and if we're gonna
But
have some
bringing them
free,
into what? We still have to get our business in order
yeah,
that we
exactly,
can leave them a legacy.
yes.
We have no legacy. Right now, we control the house music business. Hello, everybody. Hello,
Let
hello, hello. Now, hip hop, we lost.
Mm.
R&B, we lost. We do not control that music anymore. We do control the music in house music
In this area,
in
yes.
in all of us.
No, no. In Europe, you don't.
So
I'm
are
gonna
we
tell you.
talking about
So
not
here,
not yeah
yeah, yeah.
here
Okay,
in the East Coast? Let's say
yeah,
that
yeah.
Chicago, Detroit, uh, we do control our music. Is that right? We still have some control over it. Now that we done seen Beyonce and Drake come along, a lot of people started getting nervous. Like, take over this too. We cannot allow that to happen under any circumstance. Am I right?
Oh, they're not taking over. What it did was
Exposure.
put this back on the table. They did not take it over. It's impossible.
No, no, not that they took it over,
Yes.
but a lot of people got concerned
Oh no,
when
no.
it
I
came out.
saw I saw the wisdom in that. We have to take that momentum and
Thank you.
run with it.
Thank you.
You see, I see it from that perspective. Now that we're back, we got to take it and run with it now.
For I agree with Ms. Williams because of the Beyoncés and the Drakes and everything, we need that because that's how we get that global reach. That's how we reach not only the people of our color, but other people of color who have the spendable income for them to come to our community. You know, I mean, listen, it's a big monster, but guess what? We can tame the monster that we created because we created it. So the thing is, you can't be afraid of something that you created. You have to basically just try to navigate yourself through it as best you can. Steve basically does his parties. He has the popping bottles. He charges at the door. He does his thing. You know, Atlanta got their thing going and everything else. There's something that I say all the time. There's 1,000 DJs fighting for 100 people. Okay, there's 1,000 DJs fighting for 100 people, and the ones who's going to fight through are the ones who's going to make it through. And you're going to try to get to the top by any means necessary, the best way you can. Now, the reason why I say that is because I'm not getting the calls from Steve Davis. I'm not getting the calls from these other DJs and everything else when they have their platforms. I created my own. Okay? I created my own. You might not like it, don't like it. You either come, if you support it, you support it. All right? All right? But the thing is, I can't wait to get the call. Okay, I can't wait to get the call. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my own call and create it. Okay, and some DJs do that, some promoters do that, and that's what basically contributing to the house music community. Everyone's going to contribute in their own way. There's not a wrong way or a right way. It's the way that best fits you and your personality.
It's also why every third person is a DJ now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's why we have so many DJs now, because we don't embrace sometimes other DJs in venues. So DJs are like, skip this. I'm just going to do my own thing. That's why every fourth person is a DJ here in New Jersey.
God bless
Well,
the
let me
child that's
ask
got
you
his own.
this. Well, let me ask you this.
Hold
At
on,
the
hold on,
end,
hold on, hold on, hold on. Questions at the end. Questions at the end. Questions at the end. Questions at the end. Sit. Okay.
What I was
This is
saying
a
is
dancer
what you
talking.
was talking about the free events, like Lincoln Park put a bucket around, asking for donations. So if it's a problem with free events, why don't everybody at they events put a bucket around and take the donation?
So let me be
So
specific.
listen,
All right. So I'll be
listen,
specific.
listen,
I'll be
listen.
specific
Let me
about
just
the.
jump in for a second. Let me
All right.
jump in
Go
for a
ahead.
second. All right. So, like I keep saying, I do an event in Atlanta called Househeads Picnic, right? It's grown. Where we have, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. So it's grown. So this year it's a festival. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Didn't mean to blow anybody ear. Yeah. Okay. Hip hop days. But anyway, so check it. So Househeads Picnic. This year it's a festival. Last year was a gathering. In the city of Atlanta, once you get past a certain amount of people, they make it a festival. So now that's a festival, I'm asking for donations from the people who enjoy it. Mark, who's sitting in the crowd, would tell you there was a lot of people there last year. It surprised me. And this year we expect more. But in order to raise the money, we do a couple of things. We sponsor. We look for sponsors. We look for sponsorship. We do vendors, like the brother was saying, and we look for donations. Okay, and that's how we do this. But a lot of times, when I first got to Atlanta, this whole $5 party and $3 party thing was driving me crazy. I couldn't understand it. You know, house music events in the park, even up here in Jersey, they're free, right? But the guys that's doing the events, are you guys making the money to support the event? I mean, that's a question to the Jersey side.
Well, two.
Jersey.
All right. Representing Jersey.
Yeah, the guys that's doing events in Jersey. I'm saying, how do you guys raise your money for your events?
So what happens is that we have different constituents, different fundraisers, because we deal with the municipalities, basically the mayors of the city, like Roselle. The mayor, he'll get like Verizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. He'll get Horizon. He'll get Walmart. He'll get all those people to go there and contribute. So the festival is already paid for. That's how it happens. I understand in different places that it's very different, but in Jersey, we do have that. And just being that I'm on a different side of the tracks at this time in my career after umpteen years. Thankful to Mama Bird and everybody else and all the hard work, Warren Soulfingers. What happens is when you have a mayor or a councilwoman or a councilman and they believe in you, like they're not going to like there's some people that got shady business. I'm not going to talk about those shady business people because this is not a shady business kind of family thing. Am I right, family? Somebody say, "Oh yeah." With that being said,
We're in
with that
church.
being said, that torch will get passed on from the shady person to the person that, you know what, I'm really eager. I have the mindset and I have the people to back me to give me the money to pay my DJs, to pay my sound people. Because a lot of us have our own sound, a lot of us don't. We outsource. All that has to be paid for. Like Seaface Entertainment, that had to be paid for. Whatever way Dawu paid for it, that's how he paid for it. If we can raise the funds to make our festival happen, that's how it pops, just like that.
Well, the reason why I ask is because, like I said, since I do that event and
Yes.
we're at a conference, I'm trying to get different ideas that I can use to make this event successful,
Okay.
and also invite you guys to come to Atlanta
We would love
to
to.
be a part of it. You know, I come over here to the Roselle events all the time. I would love to see you guys come to Atlanta. But the events in Atlanta is a little different, though.
Right. Well,
You
here's
know,
a
you
good.
heard of the Southern hospitality thing.
Absolutely.
See,
So
you
here's
come
the.
here, somebody give you a bottle of water, somebody will feed you. It's a different vibe
So
completely.
here's the question for you, my brother. How is your relations? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. How is your relations with the municipalities? Like, are you funding it yourself, or or are they able to like go to the mayor and say, you know what, it's not going to be no fighting here. Good love house music. Be-
And just to add to that, we're very lucky over in
we're
Linden
fortunate.
because our mayor loves house music. He budgets the money, and we're able to do big things there.
And that's the reason why. Thank you, Soul Fingers. And that's the reason why. So if I can give any good from the heart to you, brother. Listen, stand on your one and twos, go there and say, listen, my name is such and such, and we have a festival every year. And you know what? We represent the city, we represent Atlanta, we represent where we come from, and these people love what we do. Can I get a
Right. And just to
And just to be
and,
honest with you, I think some of the things that we ought to explore as a people is creating sponsorships and
Word.
adding those grant writers and sponsorship writers to the team.
Right.
Because guess what? We need to be getting that Coca Cola money. Yo, we need to be getting that Budweiser money,
Red Bull.
like Red Bull money, like Nike money. But they respond to it's like running a nonprofit, so to speak, right? And they will give, but we need to come into our community and reach out and see who's good at that.
Right.
Like we need to start figuring out knowing who's who within our audience.
I mean, to
You
add to that, I think it was a commercial. Who was it? T-Mobile with Charisma Work It Out. I heard on the TV.
iTunes, iTunes.
That was iTunes. Yeah. So they're doing it.
Pioneer,
Yeah.
Source Tracks,
You
Mixed
could definitely
Cloud.
do it.
Back when I was doing a lot of large parties, a lot of people don't know this. Most of the parties that I gave at the hotels and so forth, I didn't pay for it. My sponsor paid for it. Peerless distributors. They handle the liquor for most of the clubs in New Jersey. They put the money up. They pay for the place. They pay for the flyers. They paid the bulk of the DJs. So all you had to do was put Hennessy Black on the flyer. That's
So if
all.
y'all see
Because
Steve
the
go
thing is,
missing,
if
we done took him back to Atlanta.
if 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 the if the corporations and the companies see that you have a viable product, they will give you money. But you got to prove yourself to them. I did that a long time ago. Now I don't have a problem getting money from them. But they will give you money because they have it, and if they don't use it, they don't get it back in their next year's budget. A lot of companies work like that. But a lot of DJs don't get that because they're too busy fighting with each other. You
And not
know,
only that,
now, let me
Angel.
just change up for a second. You talk about bringing in new DJs. A lot of DJs during the summer, T. Wise was saying, why we always have the same DJs. All right, to draw. All right. However, but many of you know, Raz, on Fridays we were doing Uptown Vibes in Roselle at the police station. All right. I do the booking for the DJs. Me. And I picked DJs who were not getting the shine. I made a point of doing that. Yes, I did, and we're gonna do it again starting June 30th. June 30th. I got 2 picks so far. I don't have the lineup yet. I'll get it together. But there's opportunities out there. You ain't playing. There's opportunities out there. All right. But again, there are DJs who are hungry, but show me you hungry. Show me what you got. Here's your opportunity. The pay is decent for what you're doing, but there's opportunities out there. A lot of guys are hungry. A lot of guys are sitting back waiting for the phone call. Guess what? Like I tell a lot of DJs, the phone call ain't coming.
but now what I'd like to see, right? When Dawood and I decided we were gonna do this discussion panel, I went on tour and did my own little survey. So when I talk to people from Atlanta, they say, "Yeah, we always bring in Jersey DJs to Atlanta. They stay coming down here, but they don't invite us to Jersey."
That's true.
New
And
York is the
then
same
when
way.
I talk to my friends from Jersey, they say, "Well, we always go to their events and they don't never come to ours." I've had some other people say, "We would invite y'all from Atlanta, but we don't know who y'all are." Right? So my last and final question before I kind of close this up is, how can we build that bridge between Atlanta and Jersey? A lot of folks know that Atlanta is a new hot spot. It's been a hot spot. It's a hot spot. I tell everybody, listen, man, yo, there's enough room at the table for everybody to eat. I know folks that are playing in front of thousands, getting thousands a gig. And we over here fighting over a couple of $100.
Angel, open it up for these guys over here, Mark and Carlos. They've been hitting it in
All right, listen, guys. Right now, we're gonna open up a question, but y'all simmer on that. Y'all get back to me on that. But we need to figure out how we're gonna do business together. Now I'm gonna open this up to the audience. Okay, who's first?
And Angel, his hands been for a long time. Him and the guy in the orange.
Oh, oh, shots. Shots.
Ladies first.
See, we can't even get along.
First, ladies, if you don't mind, I would like to go first because I sat down and I did not see you, so I apologize. With that being said, first and foremost, thank you for having a panel discussion because we need to be speaking more and not just on social media, but out loud in person. I wish there was so many more. Secondly, I lived in Atlanta for 14 years. I'm a househead who came up. I was in my 20s when I was down there. I'm now 45, so I got my own experience with house music. With that being said, I've seen it from the Secrets Party to Ramon, Kai, Salah, all of them to where they're at now. With that being said, it is not new. We have South Carolina, North Carolina, Steve Howerton. We have it's so many. It's branched out now. So it's more so uh, allowing yourself to network with the younger DJs. That's what the pandemic was all about. As a dancer, I networked a lot through Twitch. It's still going on. That's how I found out about so many more younger DJs. You know, the youth, talking about the youth. The youth are going private, like into dance sessions and studios where I'm like, why are we not what's going on here? Right? They're not wanting to come out to this scene because they said it was like it's a lot of old heads. I don't know, trying to be around my young folk, and they just want to feel like they're wanted and accepted, not like who you think you are. Oh, they coming in with all that youth and all like let's stop that. Let's bring this ego out of it. You got to first bring the ego out of it. You know, we all are, like I'm going to become older. One thing I do is bring people with me, whether it's my nephews, whether it's anybody. I live in South Jersey, close to the Philly. I travel this tri-state. I go to the younger parties, Soul in the Horn, Defected Records. You got to start knowing what's going on out here, not be closed in or closed-minded. My last statement was, Dawood, I want to thank you and your team that put this together. But why do I have one queen on the stage with 7 men? Yeah, that's a whole separate thing, Rodney. Well, right when I left Atlanta, I kept it going until the pandemic. For we were like 8 years in with Soul for Souls, where I would collect the shoes and give to people who needed shoes, the homeless, well, I did it with uh Soul for Souls, but I had to literally take it to the distributing warehouse. Um, and I did not mind doing it. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm glad you did because I didn't mind doing it from my heart and soul. I did it for feet because we're dancing with our feet, give our shoes instead of doing the clothing drive. And also, I noticed we weren't doing a lot of give backs with house music, but yet we speak about love and giving back.
Yes, I do. I will. I do want to get it started, but it was a lot to travel back down to Atlanta where I started it at. So I already do. I do have plans to let's restart it up here. Uh,
It's not a bad idea for y'all to be connected to a nonprofit. Just remember the word tax deductible.
Who's next, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, so here we have another queen on stage. So
Give it up
ask,
for, give it up for
ask.
DJ Sean Trent, ladies and gentlemen.
See that? Solution. You asked for it, you got it. All right? Here we go.
Shoot, shoot.
We don't communicate well.
Yo, your mic, your mic, your mic.
Part of the issue is that we don't communicate well. And not communicating well leads to panels like this where we can exchange ideas. I have gone to various venues around the country for house music. Have house music will travel. I've gone international. I didn't like the music that was here. I went to Baltimore. Baltimore gave me what I needed. I came back and told them, well, Carl, where did you go? I went to Baltimore. To what party? To Deep Sugar. Okay. I went to Deep Sugar and folks started coming. Well, you not at the club. Where you at? I'm at Deep Sugar. I was at Deep Sugar every time they had a party. Atlanta, I go to all the parties. When Paradox was the place to go, I went to the Paradox. You have to broaden your horizons outside of your comfort zone. And yes, a bus ride might be $20, but I'll spend $20 to get a night of music that I truly enjoy and can come back and tell folks about. Let's take a trip. That's what we did. It started with me, and by the time I finished, it was 100 of us going there every week or every other month when that party was going to let folks know, guess what? It's something other than the 5 DJs that they have in Jersey playing the same 10 songs over and over and over at every party. Expand your horizons. Music is music and it soothes the soul. But if you listening to the same music, I'm not going nowhere. I'll stay home. I got better music on my iPod.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Atlanta hospitality is second to none. I know all the DJs that do House in the Park. How did I find out about House in the Park? Heard about it and just went to Perkinson Park one weekend that they had it. And I've been going every year since. And that's been about 15 or 16 years. They look forward to me coming. I socialize with them outside of House in the Park. I see them when I go abroad. I see them in other cities. When they come here, I patronize them. You know, family, house music is family. They have become my nuclear family, and they treat me that way when I visit. I go to Rodney's house. But so
But let me also tell y'all, we got more than House in the Park.
yes,
We got way more. We got Indigenous House. We
the
got House Heads
21st of May,
Picnic. That's
David
right. We got
Harness.
House on the Lake. We got parties every weekend.
Yes.
Every weekend. We got 2 and 3 parties going on. All right, who wants to be the next speaker?
State your name, brother.
1 2 1 2. Mark Blake, and I am the founder of Our House at the Park, Long Island style. And this will be year 10, and we actually do exist on Long Island. We're not just a little thing there. So I just want to share some observations. Okay, just some observations. As far as musically, I've been spending the last 2 years half of the time in Tanzania in East Africa playing music twice a month. And as far as getting young people and old people, we don't do it in our personal life. So why are we talking about doing it musically? Those people fellowship together at events, young, old, black, white, European. So rather than make it some superficial It's just we don't do it that way. And when I play music there, I don't play genres. I'm from the old. I mix, so I play Afro beats, mixed it with R&B, and I play hip hop uh, with reggae beats and all of that. So the Bump was able to do it. Dave Mancuso without mixing. Tony Humphries was able to do it with mixing. That's the DJ's job. That's the DJ's job is doing the different things, and we're capable of it. And with the technology, it's even easier. So that's for us to do. Let's fellowship with the young people. We start with a narrative of they're entitled and present the other narrative we raise.
Yes.
And don't dismiss that. So how can we include that we can include. It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. My events I do in Tanzania are not one or the other. We're all there. The young and the old are all there together. But when we're not doing the parties, we're also young and old together. When we're having the cookouts, the young people look up to the older people, and the young and the old people appreciate the creativity of the young. So that's where it's starting from. Now, and I just want to share this personal experience. Like I said, it's been year 10, and I invite DJs out from Jersey, Atlanta, whatever to my events. It would be nice if they invite me, but if they don't, I don't care. Like he said, I created my events, and my why for doing my event is not to be invited. My why is to give my people on Long Island a chance to hear the variety of DJs, and that continues
Thank you,
to
Blake.
happen.
We got to move on to the next person. Who's next?
I'm doing this sister than you, Rennie, okay?
Choo choo.
Go ahead.
First, let me just say this. My name is Cookie Sookie from TMF1 Productions, and what I wanted to say was thank you all for creating this event because we are from DC, and what I
Woo
heard,
woo!
yes,
Yeah, Mia, you gotta
and
talk.
yeah, this is what I. Listen, all of the things that you all talked about today are the things that we talk about in DC as well. And what I noticed today was I love Atlanta. We've been to House on the Park several times. I personally started my love of house music in the early 90s, probably late 80s. So Newark was actually my first route of house music in general. But for all of the topics that all of the things that you all were talking about and what you were mentioning about how things aren't being done, we in DC are actually doing that. This, what you see here, Herstory, we have a series called Female DJ Herstory where we've had over 20 plus DJs from 7 years old to 17 years old. Those female DJs now all have their own brands that we encourage them to have and ask them to really get into. They're doing their own events individually, and we support them in doing that. The 7-year-old is now about 13. She's an internet sensation, and the 17-year-old is now 21 and doing her own Baltimore events. And so all of the things that you all talked about today, and Shonda knows us well. Again, I'm Cookie Sookie, and that's my wife, DJ TMF. We literally had 2 venues in DC for years. The largest underground event or largest underground venue in downtown DC was led by a black female. If you ever heard of the Clubhouse reunion that happened in DC, we were the women behind the Clubhouse reunion that made it possible for the men that were originally part of the Clubhouse reunion. Sam Burns is one of our dear friends and was present for our major Herstory event in 2020, right before his death. Most people, the last time they saw Sam Burns, he was at our Herstory event. So again, I want to say all the things that you all were talking about in DC, we are creating those changes in the process. We are encouraging young people. We are encouraging women. We are making it important that everyone understand that you can come to a free party, but you also should come to the party that you have to pay for so that the DJs are being compensated for their time. Every female DJ, and I'm gonna wrap this up right now. Every female DJ that has ever played for TMF1 Productions has been compensated for their time. That is absolutely imperative that women get compensated for their time. You know, sister, we've been trying. You know,
Have to
she
pay the
knows. She
artist
know
too.
us.
See,
DJ
see,
Nubian knows. We've been trying our
yes.
hardest to get these ladies to come down because we have done again 20 plus female DJs from 7 on up. So those things that you all want to see get done, DC and TMF1 Productions are you're actually doing it. And
All of that costs money. I come with a certain professionalism. So all of that, I added it all up and I said, well, I'm going broke trying to do a song or a few songs for an event and I'm not getting paid. I couldn't even get paid to park. So we have to do something to support the artists too.
All right, folks. Hold on. We don't have a lot of time left. I need everyone to ask a question. Hold on. I need you to ask your question and ask for an answer, but we can talk all night if you ask me. We got a lot to talk about, but we're short of time. So I'm taking 2 more and then we're going to wrap this up. The next thing that I want y'all to understand is when you do make your money in the business called house music, you need to know what to do with your money. You can't leave that out. And after, we're going to let Rodney give you like a short synopsis of what do you do with the money. Right? You need to know that. And then we're going to conclude. Is that okay? I got 2 more. I got this gentleman and I got this gentleman. You gonna pass it to her? All right, got the mic. Okay, go ahead.
My name is Blake from Plainfield. I'll start with my love of house music. I was born in Nation of Islam. So I couldn't go to Panama. I would ride around 12 p.m., a.m., 2 p.m., 2 a.m., and BLS and start listening to every Friday and Saturday night. That's how my love became. So I start going to all these different house music festivals in the area. Or didn't make a difference. So I decided one day, after I came down with cancer, I said, let me bring Plainfield house music to Plainfield. So I put a house music festival with a cause, prostate cancer awareness. I did it myself the first year, paid for it out of my pocket. Now that's why I'm getting ready to come back to the part where y'all talk about the administration. And my city of Plainfield seen what I did that first year. And you know how the city is. Wow. In 1 year, this guy had the biggest concert festival that we ever had in Plainfield, bigger than that 4th of July. So the mayor and I got together, and the second year, they paid for everything. I don't have to come out of my pocket. So I'm saying, if you go to your city and now, you're gonna have a problem with them because they're going to want to take it over. They're going to want to take it over, and that's what they try to do with me. I've talked to some of you brothers here about how I had a lot of problems, but I had the mayor in my corner. So I went to the mayor and said, Mayor, your committee is coming at me, trying to get their own DJ, trying to get their own this, and that. So the mayor went to them and said, leave that man alone. Now we up to 6,000, 7,000 people in Plainfield.
Okay.
But what I have an issue is this. First of all, on Facebook, Instagram, when negative people put things out there about house music, don't respond. When you give them a platform, that platform grows because you give them a platform. I mean, we had an issue this year with our house music festival at the beginning. Our speakers went out. Our system went down for about 2 hours. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, I was so mad I was out there cursing. But after a while, DJ Nubian and all of them came together and we put on a show. Timmy Reservoir came on at the end and knocked it out for us. You know what I mean? We brought fireworks out there. I'm trying to do things that nobody else done. But you're going to have it. But so next day, somebody put, Plainfield was trash. Plainfield was trash. It's okay. We had an issue, but once we got going, we party. And my goal always been about just bringing house music to my town. Now I love that Newark, East Orange, the Urban, all y'all areas that come down to us because we came to y'all. So I'm glad that y'all come. But my thing really is just for me to have it in my hometown. So if only Plainfield come out, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? But we got to leave those negative people on Facebook. When they put something out there, don't even respond.
All right.
Leave it alone. Once we do that, we be okay. And stop. We are grown people. We are all grown. House music is old, like you said. Half of us, I'm 63. Half of us over 50, 60. We all old. And we still fighting each other.
Hey,
But I'm going to
we're
finish this.
people
But
of a
I'm
certain
coming
age.
Oh, y'all old. I'm admit I'm old.
Right, that's right.
Y'all my
claim
age, you
that.
old
Don't
as
claim
hell.
that.
Y'all can say what you want. Let me just say this.
But wait. I
But
need you to wrap it up, though.
all right, well, okay, I'm old, y'all young. Okay? But let me say this. We are more knowledgeable about that. We still get into the same old crap we were when we was in our 20s. That's what we got to be careful about in house music. And the last thing, DJs, because I don't put you on my ticket. You know what I mean? Oh, he ain't got me on here. I got the last year. He got a crap lineup. I heard the DJs. I heard what they said. But my goal is to make sure one thing, I got a local DJ, I have a female DJ, and then I try to bring in a headliner. Last year was Timmy. 1 year was Naeem. Then was Mark Francis. I always try to bring one in. But my goal is to make sure that the DJs that you don't see and hear will be playing.
Lenny,
Thank you.
Lenny, thank you. We got one more. Is that you?
Good evening. So
This is the People's Conference.
this is a question. One of the questions that I ask DJs that I interview is, can you financially sustain yourself in this business? Because we want to be able to financially sustain ourselves that we're passionate about, right? And I think what people are not hearing is that, we have all these ways to give these free concerts, right? Pass the bucket. So we have all these ways to pay somebody for a day's wage. But how about a yearly wage? How come they're not able to financially sustain themselves given these events? It's not always about what they can do for us for free, because we don't work for free. So we're asking them we'll pay you for the summer to go park to park for free. But now when it's time for me to go somewhere else, you're not going to pay, because you're not going to come support me there, because you're going to see me in the park for free. So we got to figure out a way to help them make a living financially.
Got to understand is that a lot of folks, a lot of us that work with the house music community have jobs. Yeah, we got 9 to 5. And so we love doing things. We love what we're doing. But the reality is, a lot of us is not making it to where this is our only source of income. And what we're trying to have a conversation with you about is how are we going to put on events that you love and that you're going to support financially. All right, with that said, I'm gonna lead this on to Mr. Williams. He is our tax guy. When we do make the money, what do we do with it? Do we understand it? Do we know how to properly invest our money? Like, these are kind of things that we talk about. All right, Rodney.
Oh, that was a great segue. So, with that being said, we're going to talk because this is business. This is business. We're at the conference, and this is about making that money in business. Some of you have already passed out some tax returns, some forms. Tax time, how to handle your business. We got handouts. Some of you already got some, but you haven't. We're going to be kind of quick and brief. And for some of you guys, I'm speaking to the DJs, the recording artists, performing artists, and those who might want to start a record label. So we're going to let you go over the forms. Testing, testing. Is that better? Okay, great. All right, I'll be brief.
Testing 1 2.
Testing
All right,
1
let's
2.
all be quiet for Rodney. He has some very important information. This one works.
For some of you guys, this is a hobby. What you can do, Internal Revenue Service gives you 3 years to have a loss. So a lot of things you can write off. First of all, you got to file this blue form. This is called the long form, the 1040. You can't file the 1040A or the 1040EZ. You must file the blue form. Most of you have the software, so we got to file that blue form. Some of you want to have an employer ID number. You can work on your social security number, but if you want to have publishing and get those royalties, you want to have a publishing company. You're going to need it's a form SS4. Some of you have SS4. You can write this stuff down. First of all, the website is www.irs.gov. www.irs.gov. To apply for your employer ID number, if you don't want to use your social security number, it's a form SS4. Those who have it, could you hold it up and share it with people who don't have it? It's a form SS4. You can write literally everything off. So, like Sister said earlier, how do you finance it? I don't have any money. Well, start once again that heartbeat that let's see. Let's go over the Schedule C real quick, and it's a profit and loss statement. Once again, you have 3 years to make a loss that you can claim, and you can write that off of your income. And I'll be kind of quick because we don't have that much time. Schedule C. You can write off on the Schedule C flyers, advertisements, photo sessions. Let's go in that Schedule C part 2, down at line 8, advertisement. Once again, your flyers, for promoters, your headshot, your business cards. Number 11, contractors. If you're doing studio work, you got people doing studio work and vocals. You might give them a 1099. If you pay them under $600, you can just keep that amount and you can write that off on line 11. Line 17, your lawyers. Some of you need entertainment lawyers, tax accountants, legal and professional fees. Line 18, office expenses. Every time you go to Staples, Office Max, you can write everything off of there. Line 18. Line 20, rental. When you, part B, when you're having a festival and you're working with the festivals and you're renting out a booth, that goes off there. Rental and lease that you have with that festival, that goes off there. If you're line 23, if you're getting permits that you pay to the city for the festival, that's taxes and licenses and permits on line 23 on that Schedule C. Line 24, travel. That's Uber, hotels. You could even go on a cruise. Let's say, for example, the cruise could be up to $2,000 that you can write off to Hawaii. It can be the Essence Music Festival. You just got to, like you did here, register for the conference. And if you have a business, it could be music business or whatever, as long as you register for that conference, Hawaii or a cruise that's given that type of activity, you can write it off on your taxes. That's publication 463. Line 20, once again, your hotel, your food. When you're out eating, talking 2 entrees, if you're out of state, you're always talking business, write that off. And on your receipt, had a dinner with a recording artist, with a promoter, with your tax accountant. Line 25 is your website, utilities, your cell phone. On the back of the form Schedule C, when you have your car, you can please keep your log, keep your mileage when you're running around. You can write that off. Mileage. For each dollar, it's almost 63 cents on every dollar, gas high. So if you have a business, keep your mileage when you're running around. You can write off up to almost 63 cents on each dollar that you can get back. Part 5 is a fill-in. Postage, if you're buying equipment. Recording artists, your hair and makeup. Uniform.
I'm a studio. I have an LLC.
Yes, yes.
So
We'll get that in the form SS4 in a second, if I have time. With that studio, are you renting it separately or you have it in your house? Okay, so you might can do square footage. If you have like 8 rooms, 1/8, or if you got a big house, whatever's to your advantage, square footage, or you can divide by rooms. You got a quick question? Great. Right, right. That would be on line 20 again. On the schedule C, line 20, part B, business property for that. Her, she'll have a form 882029, so keep that in mind. Once again, look at the SS4 again, and on line 8A and 8B deals with the LLC. If you have any further questions, get back in contact with me because I got to kind of wrap it up because all the questions and passion in the room. um, early, keep talking about all those royalties he's making and that Charisma's making. They use a Schedule E as an Edward for your royalties. So if you have any further questions, get back in contact with me. My personal phone number is area code 44914-8261. I do a lot of people's taxes in the industry from, once again, the Barbers, the Evelyn Champagne Kings, the Illinois Scratches, the Run DMCs, the list goes on and on and on and on. So get back in contact with me. Quick question before I wrap up. Oh, Angel, tell me when to stop. 404-914-8261. 404-914-8261. Free consultation, because this is my passion, looking out for people and mentoring people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't got that much time. I know. We can tell, right, yeah. Well, he's talking about medical expenses. Line 15, everything other than health. You see that part there, right, though. So you have to go to the marketplace if you don't even have no money. Tell me when to stop, because
That's it.
Okay, got you. All right.
We got
So get back to me. 44914-914-8261.
the whole panel a
All
round
right.
of applause. Please, y'all give them a round of applause.
Can I have your attention,
Thank
please,
y'all
real
so
quick?
much.
Real quick. I want to thank everybody for coming out. As you see, this kind of is needed. And next year, of course, we're going to do it a whole lot different, a lot bigger, a lot better. It'll be a whole lot more time and everything else. We want everybody to take their chairs, please, and stack them up by the bar over there in the corner. Thank you.